नमः। नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्त स्वामिन्निति नामिने। नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेषा शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद। हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्ण। So before we continue the fourth canto, first chapter, I would like to recite two of the Mangala Charana shlokas written by Harishuri Maharaj in his commentary on the 10th canto Bhagavatam. Very beautiful shlokas. He has given a lot of Mangala Charana shlokas, but I will discuss two shlokas. One shloka in which he offers obeisances to Srila Vedavyasa, the author of Srimad Bhagavatam. In another shloka, he offers obeisances to Sri Krishna. So first I will recite the shloka in which he offers obeisances to Srila Vedavyasa. You can see in the screen the fifth shloka. We will recite that shloka. Rajat skandamane kashakamamita modamrutodyat phalam Srimad Bhagavatabhidam suratarum Nirmaya niryatnata Tadbhajas karoti vibhuda Nakritya tapatrayam Yastam nityamaham namamyamrutadam Shri Vyasa Vidyodadim. So yeah, the same tune in which we sing the Shadgoswami Ashtakam, the same tune this shloka is also sung. Rajat Skanda Aneka Shaka Mamita Modamrutodyat Palam. So Srimad Bhagavatam is compared to a tree. Srimad Bhagavata Abhidam Suratarum Nirmaya Niryatnataha. Suratarum. Taru means a tree. Surataru means beautiful tree. This Srimad Bhagavata, Srimad Bhagavatabhidam Suratarum, this Srimad Bhagavata Namaka Surataru, Kalpavriksha. Surataru actually, it means a Kalpavriksha actually. Surataru means Kalpavriksha. Srimad Bhagavata Namaka Kalpavriksha. It's a Kalpavriksha tree. Nirmaya Niryatnataha. This was actually compiled by Vyasadev Niryatnataha, very easily. अनायासी व्यासदेव ने श्रीमद् भागवत को रचना की. अनायास मतलब इन अ easily, निर्यत्नतः, easily व्यासदेव compiled this. This Srimad Bhagavatam Rajat Skandam Aneka Shakam. So Srimad Bhagavata is actually having this tree of Srimad Bhagavata is having 12 skandhas. I think Rajat refers to 12. Rajat also refers to 12. So this contains Rajat skandha. It contains 12 skandhas. Aneka Shaka. And there are many shakas, many branches. Aneka Shakam Amitam Modamrutodyat Phalam. This is having many shakas and Amita Modamrutodyat Phalam. This Srimad Bhagavatam, it is actually this tree of Srimad Bhagavatam is giving the fruit called as Anandamrita Rupi Phala. Modamrutodyat Phalam. Amoda Amrutan Jyotpalam. Amita Amoda Amrutodyat Palam. So अनेक शाखाओं से परिपूर्ण तथा अनंत आनंदामृत रूपी सर्वोच्च फल से लदे हुए श्रीमद् भागवत नामक कल्प वृक्ष को. तो श्रीमद् भागवत is a कल्प वृक्ष tree. It is having 12 skandhas and it is having many shakas and it has many fruits. What kind of fruits? The fruits which produce the nectar of bliss. Ananda Amrita Rupi Sarvocha Phal. This Srimad Bhagavatam was compiled by Vyasadeva easily. Nirmaya Niryatnata. Tad Bhaja Sukhina Karoti. So by compiling the Srimad Bhagavatam, Vidvajana, the learned people, the fortunate learned people, Tad Bhaja Sukhina Karoti Vibhudan Akritya Tapatre. So those fortunate learned people who get the opportunity to eat the fruits of the Srimad Bhagavatam. By eating these fruits, these fortunate learned people, their threefold miseries are completely removed. Tapatrayam. Akritya Tapatrayam. So Vyasadeva removed the threefold miseries of those fortunate learned people who actually taste the fruits of Srimad Bhagavatam. And by removing those miseries, Nityam Yastam Nityamaham, Vyasadeva bestowed upon these people eternal happiness. To that Vyasadeva, Namami Amrutadam Sri Vyasa Vidyodadim. To that Vyasadeva, who is Amrutada, who is the bestower of nectar, who is the bestower of the Amrita. And that Vyasadeva is Vidya Udadi. That Vyasadeva is actually, that Vyasadeva is like a very broad, limitless ocean of Vidya. To that limitless ocean of Vidya called Vyasadeva. And who is the bestower of Amrita? To that Vyasadeva, I offer my obeisances. And this Vyasadeva compiled Srimad Bhagavatam easily, Nirmaya Niryatnata. And this Srimad Bhagavatam called as a Kalpavriksha tree, which is filled with 12 skandhas and many shakas, and which produces the fruits of bliss, fruits of Ananda. And those people those fortunate learned people who eat these fruits, their threefold miseries are removed, and they get eternal happiness. So therefore, I offer my obeisances to that Vyasadeva. This is a beautiful shloka in glorification of Vyasadeva. Then one more shloka we will see. The third shloka, starting with Bhakti Udreka. Very beautiful meaning. Bhaktyudreka namat surendra mukuta Nargendra Neela Prabham Bhushanupura Padmaraga Ruchira Chayam Lasat Shripadam Jyotsna Kandana Kendu Kanti Lalitam Yasyangri Desham Sada Svotkristam Manute Prayaga Yigatam Vande Rama Vallabham. So in this shloka, Harishuri Maharaj is offering obeisances to Sri Krishna. The Sri Krishna is called as Rama Vallabha. One who is beloved to, one who is dear to Rama Devi, Srimati Radharani, Lakshmi Devi. This Rama Vallabhas, his actually lotus feet, it is actually glowing with three kinds of effulgences. Rama Vallabh का चरण प्रदेश तीन प्रभावों से सदा सुशोभित रहता है. The lotus feet of Rama Vallabha Sri Krishna is always glowing with three effulgences. What are the three effulgences? The first effulgence is Bhakti Udreka Namat Surendra Mukuta Anargyendra Neela Prabham. भक्ति के उद्रेक से, उद्रेक मतलब excessive bhakti or because of increased bhakti. When Indra, when he developed a great devotion to the Lord, like after the Govardhan Leela episode, he came and he realized his mistake, and then with great devotion he offered obeisances to Krishna. So with a great devotion, the increased devotion, Indra offered obeisances to Krishna. Bhakti Udreka Namat, he offered obeisances, Surendra. So when he offered obeisances, so Indra's crown touched the ground. And in that Indra's crown, there is a particular jewel called as Indra Neelamani. Indra Neelamani. And from that Indra Neelamani, there are effulgence. An effulgence emanates. So Krishna's, when Indra offered obeisances to Krishna's lotus feet became filled with that effulgence of the Indranila Mani, but this Indranila effulgence is present in Krishna's lotus feet eternally. And this Indranila Mani has a bluish effulgence, Neela Prabham. What kind of Indranila Mani? Anargya Indranila Prabham. Anargya means invaluable. So this Indranila Mani is situated in the crown of Indra. When Indra offered obeisances, Krishna's lotus feet became infused with that effulgence of the Indranila Mani. This is the first effulgence. In Krishna's lotus feet, this bluish effulgence of the Indranila Mani is present eternally. And the second effulgence is that the second line. Bhusha Nupura Padma Raga Ruchira Chayam Lasat Sripadam. So Krishna is wearing a Nupura. In that Nupura, there is a Padma Raga Mani. And this Padma Raga Mani is emanating a beautiful, very beautiful reddish effulgence. So because of that, Krishna's lotus feet is always filled with the reddish effulgence. And then there is a third effulgence. Jyotsna Kanda Nakendu Kanti Lalitam Yasyangri Desham Sada. In Krishna's lotus feet, there are nails are there. And these nails, they emanate a whitish effulgence like the Chandrakanta Mani. Chandrika se dhavalita megha ke saman. Nakom ki Chandrakanta Mani jaisa Shweta Prabha. So Krishna's lotus feet has three effulgence. Bluish effulgence, reddish effulgence, and the whitish effulgence. Bluish effulgence like the effulgence of the Indranila Mani. Reddish effulgence of the Padmaraga Mani. Whitish effulgence from his nails like the Chandrakanta Mani. And these three effulgences are eternally present in Krishna's lotus feet. And then the last line, a comparison, last line, there is it's mentioned that Svotkrishtam Manute Prayaga Igatam Vande Ramavallabam. So Krishna's lotus feet endowed with these three effulgences is so beautiful and it is so purifying. It is so pure that Swayam Tirtharaj Prayag. Prayaga Ihatam. Prayag refers to the Allahabad. We know the Tirtharaj Prayag. We had gone to Prayag. So the Prayag considers that Krishna's lotus feet is more beautiful and more pure than himself. So Prayag is considered to be the king of the Tirthas. But Prayag is considering that Krishna's lotus feet is more purifying than me. It is more beautiful than me. So to that Sri Krishna, I offer my obeisances. Tam Vande Rama Vallabham. So here, why does Prayagraj consider Krishna to be more purifying, more beautiful? So one of the reasons is that Prayag is a confluence of Ganga, Yamuna and Saraswati. So the color of the water of the Ganges is actually white. The color of the water of Yamuna is blue, dark blue
Black.
actually. It's like a bluish kind of. And Saraswati river is actually unmanifest, but according to the description in the Shastra, for example, Mahabharata Shalya Parva gives a description of the Saraswati river. In that, it is described that Saraswati river has a reddish color. Saraswati river has a reddish color. So, what the poet is saying, Harisuri Maharaj is saying is that that in Krishna's lotus feet, we can see all the three effulgences, blue, red, and whitish effulgences. But when the Prayag sees Krishna's lotus feet, Prayag considers Krishna's lotus feet to be superior than him. Why? Because in Prayag, Saraswati has become unmanifest. Saraswati has become unmanifest. So only Ganga and Yamuna are there presently. Saraswati तो लुप्त हो चुकी है. So therefore, but Prayag feels that, but in Krishna's lotus feet, the reddish effulgence is present. But in me, the Saraswati has become unmanifest. Therefore, Prayag is thinking that Krishna's lotus feet is superior than me. So in that way, the poet is actually describing Krishna's lotus feet. To that lotus feet of Krishna, I offer my obeisances. So it's a beautiful shloka. So it's not related to a regular Bhagavatam description, but I thought of sharing this shloka. We'll go to that fourth canto, first chapter. So we discussed it in the, we are discussing the dynasty through the dynasty of Swayambhu Manu through the daughters of Swayambhu Manu. Akuti, Prasuti, and Devahuti. These are the three daughters of Swayambhu Manu. We already discussed how Akuti was married to Ruchi, and then we discussed that story briefly. And then Devahuti was given in marriage to Kardama, and Devahuti gave birth to three daughters, gave birth to 9 daughters. And those 9 daughters were given in marriage to 9 sages, 9 rishis. And the dynasty through these 9 daughters of Kardama and Devahuti are being described here. So, just to go back, in the third canto, 24th chapter, verse number 22, 23, 24. These 3 verses describe the 9 daughters of Devahuti and Kardama Muni. So I'll just mention that briefly and then we'll come back. So Kardama Muni gave his daughter Kala to Marichi Rishi. And he gave his daughter Anasuya to Atri Rishi. We discussed how Atri and Anasuya, they gave birth to Dattatreya, Soma, and Durvasa. And Kardama gave his daughter Shraddha to Angira Rishi. And he gave his daughter Havirbu to Pulastya. And he gave Gati to Pulaha Rishi. And he gave Kriya to Kratu Rishi. And Khyati to Bhrugu. And Arundhati to Vasishta. And he gave his daughter Shanti. Shanti, another name of Shanti is Chitti. He gave his daughter Shanti to Atharva Rishi. So these are the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni and Devahuti. And the dynasty through these 9 daughters, that is the subject of discussion we are going through. So last time we stopped with this point that you see, Vasishta begotten his wife Urja. Urja is also called as Arundhati. So Vasishta and Arundhati, they gave birth to 7 Saptarishis, headed by Chitraketu. We discussed that. Chitraketu, Surochi, Viraja, Mitra, Ulbana, Vasubhrudyana and Dyuman. And Vasishtha had another wife, and through the another wife, Vasishtha gave birth to a son called as Shakti. Now we go to the 42nd shloka. We'll recite this. Chittistvatarvana patni.
Chittistva atharvana patni.
Lebhe putram dritavratam.
Lebhe putram dritavratam.
Tadyancham ashvashirasam.
Tadyancham ashvashirasam.
Bhrugor vamsham nibodame.
Brigor vamsham nibodame. Chitti, wife of the sage Atharva, gave birth to a son named Ashwashira by accepting a great vow called Dadyancha. Now you may hear from me about the descendants of the sage Bhrigu.
So Atharva Rishi's wife is Chitti. Chitti is mentioned in the third canto, 25th chapter as Shanti. Shanti and Chitti are the same person. So Atharva Rishi and Chitti gave birth to Dadyancha, Dadichi Rishi. Dadichi Rishi is called as Dritavratam. He was very firm in his vows. And another word which is used is Ashvasirasam. Dadichi Rishi had a horse head. He had a horse head. So why did he have a horse head? And there's a story which is given. Dadichi Rishi was proficient in the knowledge of Pravargya and Brahma Vidya. So when the Ashwini Kumaras came to know, Ashwini Kumaras approached Dadichi Muni and asked Dadichi Muni for that knowledge. But Dadichi Muni said that today I am busy, so I will give this knowledge later. Now you may go back. Like that, Dadichi Muni sent them away. After the Ashwini Kumaras left, Indra came to Dadichi Muni and threatened Dadichi Muni. Do not teach this knowledge to Ashwini Kumaras, since they are only doctors. If you disobey me and teach them, I will cut off your head. Yeah, sometimes when great personalities become little insecure, knowledge is power. So the knowledge gives a person certain power. The Indra became little insecure. Indra warned the Dadichi Muni not to give the knowledge to Ashwini Kumaras. So Indra threatened Dadichi Muni and he said that if you teach them, then I will cut off your head. And then Indra left. After Indra left, Ashwini Kumaras came there and they told Dadichi Muni, and they came to know what Indra had told Dadichi Muni. And they told Dadichi Muni, what we will do is that we will first cut off your head and replace that head with the horse head. And you give the knowledge of Pravargya and the Brahma Vidya with the horse head. And then Indra will come and then Indra will cut off your horse head. And then we will come again and we will replace it with the original your head. Then we will give Guru Dakshina, then we will leave. In that way, Ashwini Kumaras actually gave this proposal. And so when Dadichi Muni heard this, then without fear of doing, he actually imparted this Pravargya and Brahma Vidya to Ashwini Kumaras with that horse head. The Ashwini Kumaras, they cut off his head and replaced it with a horse head, and then with the horse head, he imparted this knowledge. So because of that, he is also called as Ashvasiras, one who had a horse head. So this is the story comes in 6th canto, but I'm just mentioning here. So the Ashwini Kumaras, after getting that knowledge, they achieved the stage of Jivan Mukta. It is described like that. So next is
Sorry, Prabhuji, to interrupt. So it is not. Sorry to interrupt. So it is not disobedience like the one who did he got this knowledge. It was imparted by him. So that's why he gave this instruction: do not impart this knowledge to Ashwinis. So it's disobedience, no, to your spiritual master, whoever's given you that knowledge. Or I'm not understanding
no,
correctly.
this was told by Indra was telling him not to give the knowledge because he was feeling insecure. The Rishi Muni was not
Oh,
instructed
okay.
by his guru or something. So knowledge is something is meant to be shared. Of course, by seeing the qualification, the person is having eligibility, knowledge is meant to be shared. Knowledge should not be said that but that sloka. न चोरहार्यं न च राजहार्यं न भ्रातृभाज्यं न च भारकारी व्ययं कृते वर्धत एव नित्यं विद्याधनं सर्वधनप्रधानम्. So knowledge cannot be stolen by thieves. It cannot be taken away by the king. It cannot be divided among the brothers. And the more you give the knowledge, the more one's knowledge increases. That is the greatness of this wealth called as knowledge. Therefore, the Vidyadhana, this wealth of knowledge is considered to be the greatest of all the wealth. It is said that when Brahma becomes angry at a swan, Brahma can stop the swan from enjoying in the forest of lotus flowers. Swan actually, Hamsa, takes pleasure in the forest of lotus flowers. So when Brahma becomes angry with the swan, Brahma can take away only Brahma can stop the swan from enjoying in that forest of lotus flowers. But Brahma cannot take away the ability of the swan to separate the milk from the water. So similarly, when a king actually becomes angry with the learned person or a Brahmana, he can maybe disrespect that Brahmana. He can exercise that Brahmana by maybe taking away his house. He can exercise his power to maybe punishing him or taking away his wealth. But the king can never take away the knowledge of that Brahmana, by which he can separate, by which he can distinguish between the Sat and Asat, by which he can distinguish between the Dharma and Adharma. So, but Indra, in one sense, he was trying to exercise his power over Dadichi Muni. You cannot give this knowledge to Ashwini Kumar. He was speaking out of insecurity. Anyway, this comes in 42nd. You go to 43rd shloka. Bhrugukyatyam mahabhaga
Pruhukyatyam Mahabhaga
patnyam putrana janat
Patnyam Putran Janat
Bhataram cha vidataram
Dhataram cha Vidhataram
Shriyam cha bhagavat param.
Shriyam cha Bhagavat Param. Translation. The sage Brigu was highly fortunate. His wife, known as Khyati, he begot two sons named Dhata and Vidhata, and one daughter named Shri, who was very much devoted to the Supreme Personality of Godhead.
So now the next daughter of Kardama Muni is called as Khyati, and she was married to Bhrigu. So Bhrigu and Khyati gave birth to two sons and a daughter. Two sons are Dhata and Vidhata, and the daughter is called as Shri. Daughter is called as Shri, and then the Shri is described by the word Bhagavat Para. She was devoted to the Lord. So they gave birth to three children, two sons and a daughter. And the next verse describes that the sage Meru is basically the presiding deity of the Meru mountain. So according to the sage Meru, he had two daughters, and those daughters were called as Ayati and Niyati. And the sage Meru gave these two daughters to the two sons of Bhrigu and Khyati, that is Data and Vidata. So Data and Vidata got married to Ayati and Niyati, and they gave birth to two sons called as Mrkanda and Prana. And from this Mrkanda, Markandeya Rishi was born. And from Prana, Vedashira Rishi was born. From Prana, Vedashira Rishi was born. And this Vedashira, according to Prabhupada translation, and from Prana, the sage Vedashira, whose son was Ushana, also known as Kavi. This Kavi also belonged to the descendants of Bhrigu dynasty. So Vishwanath Chakravarti says that from Mrkanda gave birth to Markandeya Rishi, and Prana gave birth to Vedashira. And Bhrigu had another son, and this another son is called as Kavi. And this Kavi is also called as Ushana or Bhargava. And from him Shukracharya was born. So Shukracharya is a descendant of Bhrigu Muni. So Bhrigu Muni's son is Ushana or Kavi, and then later Shukracharya was born. So this is the descendants of. So with this, with the 45th verse, the dynasty through the 9 daughters of Kardama Muni and Devaguti are completed till the 45th shloka. And now in the 46th shloka, 46 and 47 shloka, Maitreya Rishi is giving the Falastuti for hearing this description. It's a very important shloka. 46th shloka will recite. Tayete muna yakshattar
Taite munaya shattar.
lokan
Taite munaya shattar.
Lokan sargairabhavayan
Lokan sargeya bhavayan.
Yesha Kardama Dauhitra
Esha kardama daugitra.
Santana Katitastava
Santana katitastava.
Shrinvata Shraddadhanasya
Vata shraddadhanasya.
Tadya Papahara Paraha.
Sadhya papa paraha paraha. Sadhya papa hara paraha.
Prasutim Manavim Daksha
Prasuti किं मानवीं दक्ष
उपयेमे ह्यजात्मजः
उपयेमे हि अजात्मज. Translation: My dear Viduga, the population of the universe was thus increased by the descendants of these sages and the daughters of Kardama. Anyone who hears the description of this dynasty, which fades, will be relieved from all sinful reactions. Another of Manu's daughters, known as Prashuti, married the son of Brahma named Daksha.
So Maitreya Rishi says that these sages, ete munayah abhavayan lokan sargair abhavayan, they produced various types of population through these offsprings. And tava shrinvatah shraddhadanasya. So Vidura is hearing this description with great faith. To you, who is hearing this with great faith, shrinvata shraddhadanasya, I have related the topics of Kardama Dauhitra Santana. I have related the topics of the grandsons and the descendants of Kardama. Katitaha, I have described. What is the benefit of hearing these topics? Sadhyaha papahara paraha. These topics will immediately destroy all the sins. Immediately destroy all the sins. Sadhyaha. Sometimes when we hear this description of the dynasties, it becomes more like a list of names. It doesn't. One may think it does not. What is the practical application of this? We don't find sometimes purports also. There are no. Sometimes some stories something comes, but then it's more like a list of names. I think what is the practical utility of this information? But here it is described that Sadhyaha Papahara Paraha, they immediately destroy all the sins. Because all these sages who got married to the daughters of Kardama and Devahuti, or who got married to the all these sages, they gave birth to, they were all Prajapatis. They gave birth to different population in accordance with dharma, in accordance with the order of Brahma, and who is ordered by Krishna to populate the universe. Therefore, so the whole, because they were simply carrying out the order of Brahma, they were simply carrying out the order of Krishna, coming through the order of Brahma and producing children, grandchildren, and populating the universe. Therefore, hearing this description also actually destroys the sins. There are other religions like Christianity, they say that Adam and Eve committed the original sin. According to Christianity, procreating children is considered a sin. That is clear from the Adam and Eve story, actually. But in a Sanatan Dharma, producing children by following Dharma is considered a yajna, is considered a sacrifice. And here we see, by hearing the description of the children and the grandchildren through these daughters of Kardama and Devahuti, one's sins are immediately removed. Not only it is just a yajna, by hearing the description, one's sins are immediately removed. So then, Maitreya Rishi continues to the last daughter of Swayambhu Manu, that is Prasuti. So Prasuti was given in marriage to Daksha, the son of Brahma. So 48th shloka. Tasyam sasarja duhitr.
तस्यां ससज्र दुहित्रे
Shodashamala lochanaha.
षोडशामललोचनाः
त्रयोदशादात् धर्माय
त्रयोदशादात् धर्माय
तथैकामग्नये विभुः
तथैकाम् अग्नये विभुः. Translation. Daksha begot 16 very beautiful daughters with lotus-like eyes in his wife Prasuti. Of these 16 daughters, 13 were given in marriage to Dharma, and one daughter was given to Agni.
So Daksha and Prasuti, they gave birth to 16 daughters. Shodasha Amala Lochanaha. Amala Lochana, they had a very pure or spotless or beautiful eyes. And out of the 16 daughters, 13 were given in marriage to Dharma, and one daughter was given to Agni. And the next verse says that, and he gave one daughter to the Pitrus, Pitrubhya Yekam Yuktebhyo, and Bhava Yekam Bhavachide. And he gave one daughter to Lord Shiva, who is called as Bhavachida, who destroys the material existence. So one daughter to Pitrus, one daughter to Lord Shiva, one daughter to Agni, and 13 daughters to Dharma. And the names of the 13 daughters are Shraddha, Maitri, Daya, Shanti, Tushti, Pushti, Kriya, Unnati, Buddhi, Meda, Titiksha, Hri, and Murti. These are the 13 wives of Dharma. And these 13 daughters, they gave birth to 13 personalities. Shraddha Suta Shubham Maitri. Shraddha gave birth to Shubha. Maitri gave birth to Prasada. Daya gave birth to Abhaya. And Shanti gave birth to Sukha. Tushti gave birth to Muda. Pushti gave birth to Smaya. Kriya gave birth to Yoga. Unnati gave birth to Darpa. Buddhi gave birth to Artha. Meda gave birth to Smriti. Titiksha gave birth to Kshema. And Hri gave birth to Prashraya. And Murti was the source of the Lord, who is the ocean of all auspicious qualities, Sri Naranarayan. So here we see these 13 daughters of Daksha and Prasuti, they represent 13 qualities. Shraddha, faith, Maitri, friendship, Daya, compassion, Shanti, peace, Tushti, Pushti, satisfaction, nourishment, Kriya, action, Unnati, advancement, Buddhi, intelligence, Meda, sharpness of the mind, we can say, Titiksha, tolerance. So these 13 daughters, they were given in marriage to Dharma, and they gave birth to the different sons. So here the important point is that every good quality, only when the good quality, however good it may be, when it is in contact with Dharma, then it gives good results. So Shraddha and Dharma, they gave birth to Shubha. Shubha means auspiciousness. But if the same Shraddha, faith, is connected with Adharma, it will give birth to Ashubha, inauspiciousness. And that is what we see in the now Israel-Gaza war, actually, Hamas war. So when you see the Semitic religion, they also have faith. Islam religion, they have the faith actually. But is their faith connected with Dharma? No, their faith is not connected with Dharma. Therefore, that kind of faith is only giving rise to inauspiciousness in the world. So much of violence. The whole, you can see, it is nothing but Shraddha connected with Adharma. Therefore, it is giving to Ashubha, inauspiciousness, and that is what we are seeing all over the world. Shraddha connected with adharma, how it is giving birth to, leading to so much of inauspiciousness, so much of violence. Maitri, friendship, should be connected with dharma. But when the friendship is connected with dharma, the that kind of friendship produces prasad. Prasada means we can say mercy. Prasada means different meanings. But the friendship is connected with adharma, it will give rise to something opposite to prasad. For example, Karna's friendship with Duryodhana. Duryodhana is Kali personified. Karna had a great friendship, but this friendship was connected with whom? It was with adharma. And therefore, it did not produce prasada, it produced actually aprasada. So prasada usually we see the meaning mercy. Let me just check what are the other meanings in the dictionary. Prasada. Prasada. Prasada can mean kindness or calmness of the mind, composure. Prasada can mean transparency, brightness, or clarity. These are something. Some of the meanings of the word prasada. Of course, prasada is the food offered to Krishna, the remnants of Krishna, that's also called as prasada. But prasada has other meanings: brightness, transparency, kindness, propitiousness, approbation, well-being, composure. So when the friendship is connected with dharma, it will produce these qualities. When friendship is not connected with dharma, then it will give the opposite of these qualities. Daya. When daya, compassion is connected with dharma, it will lead to abhaya, fearlessness. But when the compassion is not connected with dharma, in Tamil Nadu, the politics, ADMK and BJP got separated. Now there is a competition between ADMK and DMK to appease the Muslims. Both of them are competing with each other to appease the Muslims, and both of them are proposing that release the ADMK proposed first, release the terrorists who are involved in a particular Coimbatore bomb blast. Some years back it happened, in which some 50 people died and many people got injured. On humanitarian grounds, you actually release the terrorists. So there is daya they are showing, but is that daya connected with dharma? No, it is not connected with dharma. Because when the daya is not connected with dharma, it will give rise to something opposite to abhaya. That means opposite to abhaya is bhaya. It will only lead to fear. When those terrorists are released, then it will only lead to fear among the common people. Terrorists are released. And then when you see next is Shanti. Shanti means peace. When the peace is connected with dharma, then it will give rise to sukha. But when the peace is connected with adharma, it will give rise to dukkha. Tushti, satisfaction. When the satisfaction is connected with dharma, it will give rise to mudha, happiness. But when the satisfaction is connected with adharma, sometimes people may take satisfaction or pleasure in doing adharmic activities. They derive satisfaction in doing adharmic activities. And that will give birth to something opposite to mudha. Pushti, when the pushti means nourishment, when it is connected with dharma, it gives birth to smaya. Smaya means what? Smaya means enthusiasm to perform acts of dharma. But when the pushti is not connected with dharma, it will give rise to opposite to smaya, that means laziness to perform acts of dharma. And kriya, when kriya is connected with dharma, it gives birth to yoga. And unnati, unnati means progress. When the progress is connected with dharma, it gives birth to darpa. So darpa here means what? Darpa means expert in austerity and yoga. It's a different meaning. In the Bhagavad Gita 16th chapter, Krishna says, Dambo darpo abhimanacha, krodha parushyamyevacha. So there darpa means something like arrogance, but here the word darpa means expert in austerity and yoga. So when unnati is connected with dharma, it gives birth to darpa. When it is connected with the adharma, it will give rise to opposite of dharma. And when buddhi is connected with dharma, then it will give birth to artha. But when it is connected with adharma, one may earn money, the short term accumulate a lot of money, but ultimately, so artha also means so artha also means something meaningful. Not only money, it means meaningful, something worthy. So when the buddhi is connected with dharma, it gives birth to something which is worthy. When it is connected with adharma, it will give rise to anartha. Meda. Meda also means intelligence. Meda, we have to see other meaning of the word Meda. Other meaning of the word Meda is intelligence, wisdom, mental vigor or power. So when the Meda is connected with dharma, it gives birth to smriti, remembrance. Otherwise, it gives birth to forgetfulness. Titiksha, tolerance. When it is connected with dharma, it gives birth to kshema. Kshema means we can say auspiciousness. When the tolerance is not connected with dharma, it will give rise to opposite of kshema. And hri means a shyness. When the shyness is connected with dharma, it gives birth to prashraya. Prashraya means vinaya, humility. But when the shyness is connected with adharma, then it will give rise to something opposite of prashraya. And then the last daughter of Daksha and Prasuti is Murti. And Murti Sarva Gunotpattir Naranarayana Rishi. Murti was the source of the Lord, and Murti is the ocean of all the auspicious qualities. The Murti was the source of the Bhagavan, who is the source of all auspicious qualities. Which Bhagavan? Sri Naranarayana. So Murti and Dharma, they gave birth to Naranarayana Rishi. And that Naranarayana Rishi is the source of all auspicious qualities. Sarva Gunotpattir Naranarayana Rishi. And so then there is a description of the Naranarayana Rishi in the next verses, 53rd onwards. How the Devatas offer praise to Naranarayana Rishi. We will see that in the next class. So the significance of the Dharma family is that every quality, however, how much ever it may be good, but only when it is connected with Dharma, then they give rise to proper result. So for every good quality, for example, determination is a good quality. But there is also a flip side of determination, that is stubbornness. When the determination is connected with dharma, then it will give rise to proper benefit. But when it is connected with adharma, then it will give rise to opposite result. So therefore, every good quality should be connected with dharma. So it should not be independent of dharma. So Gandhi speaking about ahimsa, Gandhi's preaching of ahimsa was not connected with dharma. He spoke of ahimsa from disconnected from the dharma. Ahimsa paramo dharma. But the Shastras, they don't speak of ahimsa being disconnected with dharma. Himsa used for the purpose of dharma is also another type of ahimsa. That is how the scriptures talk about it. But Gandhi spoke of ahimsa in an independent way, not being connected with dharma. And therefore, it is said that Hitler's Gandhi's ahimsa and Hitler's violence both had the same effect. Both actually led to the killing of so many people. Gandhi and Hitler both had Gita in their hand, but both interpreted Gita wrongly. Gandhi thought that Gita is teaching him non-violence. Hitler read the Gita and he took inspiration that Gita is teaching him violence. And Hitler committed violence in an indiscriminate manner. And Gandhi taught non-violence when the Muslims were actually killing the Hindus during the partition. And he taught the Hindus, he taught selectively the Hindus to practice non-violence. He did not tell the Muslims to actually practice non-violence. So both of them, they claimed themselves to be students of Gita, but both of them did not understand the Gita properly. Gita is neither teaching violence or non-violence. Gita is teaching whatever is required for the purpose of establishing dharma. If violence is required, use violence. If non-violence is required, use non-violence. So therefore, every good quality should be connected with the dharma. So that is a very important lesson which is coming from the description of the dharma family. And the last daughter Murti she gave birth to Naranarayana Rishi. We will discuss more about the description of Naranarayana Rishi in the next class. Hare Krishna. Stop here. Anybody has any questions?
So, Prabhuji, titiksha is tolerance, right? You said titiksha.
Titiksha, tolerance.
Titiksha gave birth to. So, and kshema, what did you say? What was the
Shema.
Shema is?
Shema means Shema also means auspiciousness only. If I read that in the dictionary meaning,
Because in
Shema
Bhagavad Gita,
Shema.
I remember Kshema was merciful protection of the Lord. I read that way in Bhagavad Gita. Kshema is merciful protection of the Lord.
Shema means well-being,
I don't know where.
happiness. Or Shema means preserving, protecting. Yoga Kshemam Vahamyaham. Shema means preserving what a person has. Preserving what a person has. Keeping what is acquired. Or Kshema also means final emancipation or eternal happiness. These are the different meanings of the word Kshema.
And one of the Nav Yogendra's name is some Kavi or something, if I'm not mistaken.
Kavi. Yeah, that's a different Kavi.
Ah, Yeah, I know, but I just. So then, with such auspicious and good meaning names which Daksha kept, so then how come he didn't develop those qualities? Like,
See, Daksha, we'll see the next chapter. We'll start the Daksha episode only, second chapter. Daksha was a very pious person. He's not uh, like a demoniac like the other demons. He was a pious person, but he was basically a pious materialist. He was attached to karma kanda, and he did not understand the exalted position of Lord Shiva. Therefore, he committed offense to Lord Shiva. Sometimes pious people also, if they don't understand the position of Vaishnavas, they may commit offenses. And there are maybe outright demons, they may also commit offenses. But Daksha, uh, he committed offense to Lord Shiva, then he got reaction. The next lifetime also, he committed offense to Narada Muni. And then, but he was a very dharmic person. So therefore, he named the daughters properly. We stop here.
Thank you, Guruji. Hari Bol.
Okay, we'll stop here. Thank you very much for your patient hearing. Grantara Srimad Bhagavatam.